Hi, I'm Brittany.
And I'm Rick.
Welcome back to Life in the North 40. On today's video, Rick's going to do an unboxing of his Elite Mini E&E Survival Tin.
Watch this video to see what makes this mini survival tin elite and good for escape and evasion.
If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up.
And also subscribe to our channel. Let's go! Today I'm going to discuss my Elite Escape and Evade or E&E Mini Tin with an urban focus, packed full of high-end items for the operator that knows how to use them in a very compact kit. I wanted to design my own kit with quality items that I procured and that answer the 10 C's for survival preparedness in a small compact tin. This is obviously bigger than an Altoids tin, but to get the kind of items I wanted, I had to go a little bit bigger than an Altoid type tin. And it's still very small, packable, fits in a cargo pocket, a glove box, your hunting pack, inside the typical pockets on the front of body armor. And I think it really ticks all the boxes as best you can in a kit this small. You can't have everything the way you would really want it in a tin like this compared to a full-size like bug out bag or something like that. This actually has 43 items. Some of those have more than one quantity, but just 43 separate categorical items. Here's the packing list for it, laminated, a little bit bigger than the tin, but that's nice to have and handy. The actual dimensions, this is 4.5 inches wide by 3.5 tall by just 0.9 inches deep. So you see I do have a Ranger band on the outside of that just to keep it secured. And that Ranger band is multi-purpose in itself. I think you could cover this. This could be technically one of the 5 C's of survivability, cordage, although it's technically not cordage. And it could also be in the combustion category because you can use this for tinder. A lot of times people don't realize this is very combustible. It will light and burn fairly well as a tinder item, but you may not want to do that. That's a great thing to use for reuse for securing equipment and so on. So I'll give you the dimensions of the tin and you'll see that it opens up. Got a hinged lid and you see we've got a lot of items packed in there real nice. In the lid here, you can see that I've got a card. One of the reasons I call this my Elite E&E Escape and Evade Mini Tin with an urban focus, one of the reasons is because of this card. You see that I'm using some Gorilla Tape here to secure that, and the good thing is that's reusable, and it's also very flammable, a form of tinder. So those pieces of tape are nice to have. Plus it keeps that top card accessible and easy to grab, and I'll show you why. This card, there's some different types of survival cards out there, but it's basically a lockpick kit within this card. You can actually pop these out. So what we have here is a basic 5-piece lockpick set for this E&E mini survival tin, helping it to be an escape and evasion tin. And these are a very basic kit made of thin, very thin steel. All right, this is what's called a tensioner. You see it's got a narrower side and a wider side for sticking in the actual barrel or the lock bezel itself to provide thumb tension while you're picking it to turn that lock once you hit the right spot with your pins. And then the second item is what's called just a standard short hook. You can see you've got a little hook on the end, and that's basically for single pin picking. It's very agile and maneuverable. And then we have what's called the half diamond. You can see a little diamond shape on the very tip there. And that's also for single pin picking. It's good for locating and setting pins. And then number 3 here, you've got snake rake. And you can use a scrubbing technique or a rocking or biting technique. And again, these are really packable and thin. If you are interested in maybe a lockpicking class, that stuff is perishable. If you're interested in maybe a video on that in the future, put it in the comments section below. Maybe we'll put one of those together. And this right here is what's called the city rake. And you see it's got a lot more teeth to it, used in a rocking manner as well. You'll see in the front, in the back of the rake portion, you'll see higher teeth and lower in the middle. It's got higher in the front and back for high cut pins, front and back to hit of a lock, and then low pins in the center. That doesn't necessarily fit into the 10 C's of survival preparedness. I'd say that's special equipment, you know, unique to this urban E&E elite survival tin that I do. And again, it's only for folks that want that and know how to use it. So the container itself, before I get into this, you see it's metal, and that does cover one of the 5 C's of survivability, which are cutting, combustion, cover, container, and cordage. Well, here's a container. Once this is empty, you can use this. You could put some small food, maybe you killed a bird, put a dove breast or whatever in here, some berries. You could actually put these in the coals, seal it, and you could cook in it. Probably want to season it first, but I mean, we're talking worst case scenario, so that's pretty cool. Couple things I like to do. I do put some basic meds in here just to have on hand. This is naproxen. I wrote on here with the expiration date in its own bag, which could be reused if needed. I did the same thing with acetaminophen. I wrote expiration date on this as well. Just basic, it's 500 milligram Tylenol. I got 4 of those. Great for fever, pain relief. And I'm not gonna obviously go through in any certain order. I'm just going through unboxing and discussing. So those are not necessarily answering the mail on the 5 C's of survivability I just mentioned, or the 5 C's of sustainability, which are a cotton material, a compass, candling or illumination device, cargo tape, or a canvas needle for repairs. That's kind of just in the first aid category, the medicine, personal care category that I add. Here's another item that's great to have, very compact, just a simple golf pencil. This could be a form of tinder. Could light it on fire, and obviously we'll get to the bottom of the kit. I've got some Right in the Rain waterproof paper. Works great with a pencil. You can sharpen that with your knife or your cutting device. So golf pencil's great. Another item to use for recording, again in the special equipment category. I just say recording for both of these. This is just a mini Sharpie. This does come with a cap that snaps on here. A lot of times nurses or whoever will have these hanging from their badge. Different professions use those. Just to make it more packable, I popped that off and so it would fit better in the kit, where space is a premium. That waterproof paper, as long as that paper is dry, you can write on it with this and it won't smear. But if it's already wet with water droplets, you don't want to use this because then it smears. You can actually write on the waterproof Right in the Rain paper with pencil with water on it, and it works fine. Did it plenty of times in my Army days. Just another little comfort item, not necessarily one of the 10 C's, but I just say rations or morale, you know, just a Jolly Rancher. Something when you're hurting and you haven't eaten for a couple days and just want to have a morale boost, get some calories. Little Jolly Rancher, highly packable, great to have in the kit. It fits. We've all seen, well, most of you have probably seen, I call them bite lights. You know, you can connect these to a zipper too. It's got a ring on here that I'll leave. This did come with, when I bought these in quantity, it came with this snap, little mini snap attach link. I removed that off of here too, just for the packability. You can always attach it with some cordage or whatever to something. But these are extremely bright LEDs with a small package, uses a small watch battery. So you can see that lights up pretty good. If it was dark in here, it'd provide pretty good illum in a very small package. So this is one of the 5 C's of sustainability, which is candling or illumination. So in this kit, I try to define everything to tick all the boxes within the size constraints that I have. So that's a good little item to have. I always have one of these on my tactical gear too. If you haven't seen my video on how I prep my Bic lighters, this happens to be a mini Bic. You can do the same thing with a full-size Bic. Watch that video so you can see what I do with the preparation. I won't discuss in detail here, but basically I've got some hemp beeswax, wick material that I've wrapped around the lighter to immediately catch the flame, hold the flame to allow me to light other tinder material, especially in inclement weather. And this is obviously one of the 5 C's of survivability, which is Combustion. Mini Bic over the full size just because of the size of the kit. All right, I've got a couple more meds here, which are under that first aid category. This is diphenhydramine. We all know, great for swelling from bug bites or some sort of poison ivy or whatever, plus for allergies, hay fever. This can help you. It's also a sleep aid. So those fit really small into the kit. See, I've got a couple other med items here. This is nothing more than Pepto. And you know, you've got an upset stomach, and all these have the expiration dates on them to rotate your kit as needed. Another great thing to have in here is Uncle Ben's tweezers. There's some knockoffs out there quite a bit cheaper than Uncle Ben's. Basically a tick tweezer or pick. But you know, these are great. Got a real fine point on them. You can get in there and do some work. You know, if you're doing sutures, it can help pull things, and just very handy. And they're very packable. This comes with a retainer that goes over the end and it clicks over these holes that are provided. But again, it just takes too much space in the kit. So I just pack them like this. This is not in one of the specific categories of the 10 C's of survival preparedness. But again, I would just say it's in that first aid category. And this right here is a water storage container, highly packable. I've rolled it up, squeezed the air out of it. The Whirl Pack water container or storage container, primarily for water. It's ready to go for potable water. And when you fill it with water, it's freestanding. This thing will stand up on its base. So to prepare this, just to make sure we can fit it in this kit where space is a premium, I just kind of fold the sides in. We're gonna just start rolling this nice and tight from the base, and try to just kind of keep that very compact as we're rolling it. And rolling it from the bottom, we'll squeeze the air up towards the entrance or opening. What I need to do is get those twist ties, I kind of fold it in, push these right inside that hollow area, and I'll work those in just to kind of hold this thing all together. I think I got mine on Amazon. Again, this is great to have because I'm hitting that container category. Right here, what I've got is I've got a couple water purification tablets by MicroPure. There's some cheaper brands out there that do the exact same thing. These do have an expiration date. They have quite a long shelf life, but one of these I think is will sterilize and clean a liter of water. And I think it says let it sit for 4 hours. And it's got chlorine in it, and it will kill a lot of the bacteria. So you get in a pinch and you need water, and you need water now, you can purify it. Got a couple tablets in there. Those roll up and fit very nicely in the kit. I've got 2 of these, and these are Tinder Quick tabs. They got stitches around them. You can cut that and pull this out and fluff it up, and this catches a spark very nicely. That's very packable. You know, great for a kit like this. And this again will answer the male on the combustion category. Highly packable and really good to start a fire with. You might be going, well, what's the dental floss for? Well, what I've learned is back in my Army days, when I was doing a bit of rangering, we used to sew our cat eyes on the back of our patrol cap with dental floss. Dental floss has got a great tensile strength, and this is multi-purpose. This is in the Cordage category, one of the C's of survivability. You can use this for stitching, your own sutures. You can sew with it, do equipment or clothing repairs. Plus, this is waxed, and it is very flammable. So it's a great form of tinder in itself. This is 55 yards. I bought this at Walmart, very inexpensive, 90 cents or something, 90 some cents. And look at that, it's already on a roll. I just take it out of the plastic container, and this gives me some very usable cordage, where like paracord, I just don't have room in this kit for a bunch of paracord. I do have room for that dental floss. So it fits in there, and it's multi-function, multi-purpose, great item. We all know about this, one of the 5 C's of sustainability, which is compass. Get my cardinal direction, find where my location using this, and it's very small. Make sure you have it away from all metal sources. You see, as I set it next to the tin, it kind of moves it. So button compass, invaluable. One of the reasons this kit is a little more costly than other kits is I put an actual Leatherman in here. This is actually the Leatherman Squirt PS4. And I did some research on these, and there's some items that I really want in my kit. If I'm gonna get a tool, it needs to be small, but it needs to have things that I think are essential. There's some small Leathermans and some other brands out there that are small like this. They're basically keychain combination tools or keychain preparedness tools. But what I found is most of the keychain size like this, they have scissors in them, but they don't have pliers. So this is awesome. This has spring-loaded pliers. Okay, so that is a very nice thing to have. Who would think I have a pair of pliers in this mini kit? So I got a pair of pliers. Inside the inner channel here is wire cutters. So there's 2 tools right there. You got wider portion with grips on the inside to go wider to turn a nut, bolt, or whatever, and then you got the flat portion. You also have a knife, so you have the cutting category covered. You see you could attach this when you pull it out of your kit. It's got a little ring on there. You have a little knife here, so you have pliers, wire cutters, and knife. We have a file, and the reason this is an awesome deal for the money, these are in the $30 to $35 range, so that makes this kit a little more, like I said, valuable. This is not just a wood file, but it's a wood and metal file. That is a huge deal in your survival preparedness. Because I have some things in here I may need to sharpen. We'll get to that in a minute. So that file allows me to not just do wood, but metal also. We have a small flathead screwdriver, fine point. A bigger point flathead screwdriver with a bottle opener on this side. And then we also have scissors. It's pretty nice. So scissors included with that as well. So that is why I choose this item for my Elite kit, and it's a little more expensive. But again, look at all the areas that we covered. So you have cutting covered, and having that metal file in there is nice. I do have some redundancy with these folding scissors just because I think they're cool and they're very handy. And these are bigger, so I can really do some detailed cutting with those for an urban survival kit. Kind of nice to have it, and they fold up. These things are very sharp and they cut very well. And those I got on Amazon, and I think I get them in a pack of 4. Don't necessarily need them because I do have scissors in this Leatherman Squirt PS4, but I had room, so I put them in there. What I have here is a nice, bigger size ferrocerium rod, which is very nice to have. As long as you've got some hard steel with a 90-degree edge, which I do, on the back side of the blade on this Leatherman, or maybe even those scissors, shoot, maybe even these here, I can go ahead and strike that. This thing is slippery until you get that coating off. So there we go, I'm using the knife edge just to get through that coating for demonstration purposes. So there we go, we've got a nice ferrocerium rod. You're gonna get a lot of use out of that. It's got a lot of life in it, plus fits in my kit. There's smaller ones you can get pre-made. My magnesium blocks that I use in bigger kits, just a little too big for this kit. So this ferro rod definitely hits the combustion category, and it's very packable. All right, you might be going, what in the world is this for, this little rag? Well, one of the 5 C's of sustainability is cotton material. This is not optimal, but I'm doing what I can with the size of the kit. Why cotton material? Why is that a C of sustainability? Well, if you are, worst case scenario, I'm gonna try to get water into my container. I do have some purification tabs, but it may be very brackish water. There may be a lot of floaters, some top algae. I can actually use this cotton material as a filter. Okay, what else can I do with it? I can do basic hygiene. It's reusable. If I get this wet and I'm in a hot weather environment, evaporative cooling's huge. Yeah, this isn't a big patch. It's not a big hunk. I can lay this across my neck, my forehead. I can do some basic hygiene with it. It is tinder. It will catch a spark very well, but just a ton of uses for some cotton cloth. And this is just cut very small from an old t-shirt. Obviously bigger kits, you're gonna have a chamois or a scarf. to use for a full scarf and sun protection, better filtering. You just got a lot more uses. It's bigger, but this is the same concept in a small kit. Got a couple safety pins in here, which are a big deal. Obviously gear repairs. I like these. These are 2-inch, bigger safety pins. I can use these to stitch my clothing together if I rip them out. In the field, I'd rip my uniforms frequently. Just getting down, taking a knee, doing individual movement techniques, and just working hard. You get a rip or tear, you can just fasten it together temporarily with this. If you have additional cloth, you can fashion a cravat for like a sling or whatever. So you're multi-purpose here, repairing equipment. Got 2 of those. Remember, I talked about the importance of that metal file on that Leatherman. One of the things you can use that for, these are 2-inch paper clips, and they are even bigger once you unfold them. But you can unfold one of these, unbend it, sharpen the point with that metal file, and you've got a tool. You could fashion it into the split end of a stick, make a spear out of it. You can actually make a lock pick out of this, a handcuff key. Bobby pins are better. I got 2 of those as well, but you're limited only by your imagination for these. These don't necessarily fit into one of the categories of the 10 C's of survival preparedness. They're just very small, packable items that are very useful. Got a couple alcohol prep pads to clean a wound or whatever. These are also a form of tinder, very flammable, nice to have here. So, and they fit in here nice. So a couple of those, first aid category as well. Another cutting device. You see I've got some redundancy here. You always want redundancy. I've got a steel razor blade. Obviously cutting, one of the 5 C's of survivability. Fits compact into the kit. A lot of uses for that. Another thing I've got here, and again, I've resourced and procured all these items after a lot of research and finding what the best things are for my kits, for the size and the purpose and the user's competencies. So this is obviously a signal mirror, but it's very small. It's the compact version and it's floating. Great thing to have in here. You could have a lanyard on here, which would be additional cordage. I chose not to, just for packability, but obviously for signaling. This does not magnify. You can't really use it for combustion to start a fire, but definitely for signaling and to take a look at yourself. Couple more meds here. I think these are the last meds. Nothing worse than being out in the field and getting a gastric issue, case of dysentery, diarrhea, whatever. These are 2 Anti-Diarrheal Tabs. A lot of people forget these in their kits, but great to have. I have 2 of those with expiration date. So I'm really kind of hitting all the basic meds that you would want. Being that this is an urban kit too, another cut, being out in a survival scenario or out away from technology and civilization for a while, clipping your fingernails can be a thing. Your fingernails get too long in the wild, it's bothersome. You need to keep them cleaned up. You'll split them, especially in cold weather and stuff. This is a compact nail clipper. There are a lot of nail clippers out there, but they're not that small. You see how thin those are? I researched and hunted and pecked to find these specifically for this kit. And I also have other kits that I do. A women's preparedness tin includes this. But look at that. So these are nail clippers, and I'll tell you what, these work and work well. Very compact on the back here. You kind of press those down and they clip back in. On the back, there's a nail file as well with a keychain. I had room to fit that. It could lay flat when I packed it. You could remove that for packability too, but that's a great thing to connect to a zipper. All right, moving along here, we've got a couple other combustion things. We all remember our parents playing a trick on us when we were having our 6th, 7th birthday, whatever, when we were kids. Those trick candles, you'd blow them out and they come right back, they relight. That's exactly what these are. Perfect thing once you light them to stay lit, and they're very compact. Another one of my items here, you see I don't have much for illumination other than that nice bite light, that LED bite light. But for redundancy, I also have what I call baby chem lights. And these are 10-hour green baby chem lights. It's hard to believe they stay illuminated that long, but these are great. You can actually illuminate your paper. You get up close with those in the dark. They're great for marking. Back in my tactical days, we used to do, when we were doing offensive operations and doing attacks and raids on objectives, one of the things we could do is our approach march to get to the objective, we could push these into the bark of the trees facing away from the enemy or the bad guys on our side, and we would have basically a little path. We used to have these in infrared too. We could see under night vision, but these are not infrared. These are green, regular light. So they fit great in the kit. Another great item. I also have Floral Wire here. And the reason I have Floral Wire in here, it's a form of cordage, which is one of the 5 C's of survivability. I don't have a ton of it because of the size of my kit, but it's easy, it's pliable, it's easy to manipulate and work with. This is 24 gauge, approximately 3 feet rolled up. I tried to roll it pretty small so that it was pretty packable. You used to wrap it around something and then go and secure it. But this is great to have for equipment repairs. Not a ton of length though, but very handy. If you could fit more in the kit, go for it. It's great to have. This is 24 inches, 2 feet of Gorilla Tape wrapped around the case for a Fresnel lens. I wanted to show you this Fresnel lens. It covers one of the 5 C's of survivability, which is combustion. Yes, believe it or not, you could start a fire with this. And what is it? If you haven't seen one of these, it is a magnifying glass. And this is a handy one to have because you could magnify the sun's rays. You've all done that probably when you're little, burning ants with a magnifying glass or taking a piece of cotton, focusing the sun's energy, and you could see it would actually char it, start smoking, and you could blow on it and it would light. So that's the intent with this Fresnel lens. It's also got a ruler on it, centimeters and inches, which comes in handy. And if you're like me, you need reading glasses now. This can act as a aid to your sight, right? Magnifying stuff. And I like to keep it in its little pouch. Yeah, it does make it a little thicker in a kit where space is a premium, but it keeps it from getting scratched and protects it. And one of the things I want to do is my kit includes 2 feet, 24 inches of that Gorilla Tape. Gorilla Tape's invaluable. Like I said, one of the C's of sustainability. This stuff you can use for, repairs, securing equipment. You could actually tape it, cut your finger, you could tape it up until you can get better medical treatment later. It's flammable, so it can act as one of the aids to combustion for tinder. So 2 feet is a good amount of that. The more the better, but again, we have a compact kit. I gotta put it on something plastic like this so we can get it off. This tape I found when you tape it to itself, you just can't separate it. It just rips it apart. So I wanna wrap this tape around this Fresnel lens container or package because then we can get it off. A couple more first aid items here. We all know nothing beats a good old Band-Aid. These are the fabric, good quality, medium-sized Band-Aids. And we've got a couple zip ties, 4 zip ties here, 4-inch, 18-pound tensile strength zip ties. Those are great, securing equipment, making repairs. Obviously not super large. You're not gonna get around super big items, but there's no shortage of what you could do with those zip ties. You may be wondering, why a nail? Well, this is just a nice steel nail. I think this is rust proof. This is actually would complete a circuit or whatever, but this is a 2 1/4-inch nail. But anyway, the nail is super handy to have in here. You need to pound this into a tree for a hanger, leave a note, and there's no other way to attach it. You can use this nail. A lot of uses for a nail. Again, we don't have unlimited space here. So you might be wondering, why not more than one nail? Well, you only have so much space, but one nail is better than no nail. So it's good to have in your kit. This is another great item to have. This is a 22-in-1 card. That means there's 22 separate tools in here or items that you can use. Fits super small. You see there's a fine tooth saw on this outer edge. You got a bigger tooth saw on the inside edge. All this stuff will snap out of this stainless steel card. These are tweezers that you can pull out and bend in the middle and pinch together. Got multiple fish hooks, double barbed fish hooks here, single. Got some smaller fish hooks. You have some awls that you can use to punch through leather, or you can use those as little points on a stick for little spears, as well as these two here for gigging frogs or whatever, small game. You have a button replacement here. Maybe you need a pointer. I'll use a pointer, it'd be easier. You have a button replacement here. You could stitch in with that dental floss. You have another spear point here. You can lash in, stick that into a split stick and lash it. Then you have a small knife here that's already sharp on the inside edge. You can pop out yet another cutting option. More redundancy there, and with the saws. So there's a lot of different useful items in here, and it's extremely small and packable. Great to have in this kit. All right, we've got that Right in the Rain paper in the very bottom here, and I actually trimmed this. This is from the small spiral size. I got 3 sheets of that. Again, back in my military days, literally would write on this with pencil, mechanical pencil, in the rain, and it literally works. Harder to erase but when it's wet, but you can write with that golf pencil on here. But again, you could write on it dry with this mini Sharpie, just not while it's wet. So good to have. Also tinder, form of tinder. You'll see here, I've got some heavy duty aluminum foil in the very bottom here. And this is 24 inches by 12 inches. And I folded it and smoothed it out really nice to fit very nice in the bottom of that kit. Multi-purpose here. You can actually fashion a small bowl out of that and cook in it right into the coals if you needed to. Signaling, you know, it is a form of a container. Just a great multi-purpose item, very small and packable. Great to have. Why not throw some tinfoil in there? Another high-end item, a special order item. Quite a few things in here are. And another reason this is a premium kit. Not a lot of folks putting this type of a kit together. It takes a lot of work to resource these items and do curation. But again, for E&E Escape and Evade, as well as that card that I showed with the lockpick set, the handcuff key, this is a rod saw. And this rod saw, very obviously compact, fits in here, could be hidden on your person. This rod saw is the veritable, hey, I'm in jail, Mom, mail me a file in my cake and send me a cake, right? The good old days. This is akin to that. This will actually cut through steel. Obviously, you don't have a lot of play here, a lot of room to move it. But if you're patient over time, this will cut through steel. And this is tungsten carbide. You can definitely use that for escape and evasion. A great item for that. Very compact in this kit as well. See, I've got a couple bobby pins here. Maybe I'll do a subsequent video making a handcuff key out of these. But you can unbend these and manipulate these very easily. And you can knock off the coating off of the tips of this. Real easy to make a handcuff key. You can, other tools with these. These also can be a fastener, and they fit in this kit very small. Great couple things to have, couple of those. And then, other than the container itself, which I already covered, I have a repair needle. There are better needles out there. There's sale needles that are quite a bit more expensive, a lot beefier than this with a 3-sided point to them. I mean, you can go through some heavy duty material or leather with those, but this one is very cost effective, very sturdy. This is a yarn darning needle. I get these in a pack of 7 at Walmart, and this will work great with that dental floss to suture myself. I could suture with dental floss, even my own tissue, no problem. I can make repairs, sew with it. So that's great to have in your kit. If you want a better needle, get sale needles, but they are more expensive and a little bulkier. But this one will work and do a good job for you. Like I said, this is one of the more high-end kits. You throw in some of these specialty items, this Leatherman Squirt or rod saw, the tweezers, 22-in-1 card, this special floating compact signal mirror. This is a great item too. This E&E lockpick set with handcuff key, folding scissors, bite light, high-end ferrocerium rod, nice big one, multi-use, nice foldable compact water container, and those very packable small nail clippers by Monkeys. Well, guys and gals, thanks for your time. That is the Elite E&E Mini Tin with an urban focus from Rick here. I hope you enjoyed this video, and shoot me some comments of other great survival or preparedness content you're interested in, and we'll see what we can do about getting a video out. All right, guys, thank you. God bless.